Alright, y'all. Welcome to the final segment of episode 2. And this is the comeback. Rob Dollar's 2 cents to the media. So, again, as I've said in my previous episodes, I'm currently, I consume lots of sports media. But I'm going to give you guys, and when I've been watching the 4 main media sports talk shows that I faithfully and consistently watch right now. 2 from ESPN, 2 from Fox, because I like to hear the competing sides. And I think there's good, diverse cast of analysts on both of those networks. So again, those are the 2 groups I listen to and watch and follow. From ESPN, I watch the Get Up show in the morning, and then I also watch First Take, and so I got some commentary from them. And then on the Fox side, I watch First Things First and Speak. So again, you feel free to look up those shows, check them out if you want. I'm not here to advertise them like that. That's not the point of this. It's really just to give feedback, again, on some of the questions that are going back and forth out here in the major media or mass media for sports. We've had a few days worth of content that I've been kind of squirreling through, trying to find some decent questions, some decent items that I might be able to get content for you guys for. So I'll go through a few things and let you know which shows they came from, and again, really more so about trying to give you my thoughts on it. But there are some points in here where I highlight a few people who were talking good or talking what I like to hear. You know what I'm saying? Like, I vibe with that. Note that no matter who I name, it's never always a thing. Like, they will say things that I think are ridiculous one day and then come out and say something that I'm like, that's so awesome that you are able to point that out. I'm with you on it. So, like, that happens with Stephen A. like literally all the time, with Acho all the goddamn time. Like, these guys, one minute they're brilliant and then the next minute they're just trying to say something hysterical for ratings, basically. So, I mean, I know why they do it. It's just still annoying that they do it. Anyway, let's see. Let me go through my list here. Let's see. I made a quick note here about the Get Up show. They were talking Chiefs Bills, and it's hilarious because Dan Orlovsky was just going ape bananas crazy with his Josh Allen love, and it was like OD, like Narcan that kid. He needs it. But Ryan Clark was keeping it a buck out here, giving cats the real about what it means to establish greatness. Stop talking about people that like they're great if they haven't actually done great things. Like, you got to do something before you can be called great. Unless it's like we talking grandparents, I mean, you can be a great grandparent and don't have to do nothing. Just live long enough. That's the only greats that you just get. Otherwise, you should be doing something that's amazing for someone to say you're great. I think so anyway. The question of the day, let's see if I want to actually talk about it. Did the Chiefs win the game or did the Bills lose it? Yeah, so this is like the beginning of the week talk, and it's the beginning of a snowball of dumb conversations about, well, 2 things that I'm not happy about. One is talking about a game as if the people who won didn't earn a victory. Did you see them play the game? Did the score at the end say they had more points? They won the game. That's a team that's winning. You know what? It's dumb to just be like, oh no, the other team lost it. Did they lose it? Like, just like, I don't, So there's no one else on the field. Like, there wasn't a reason why they did the things that they did that were bad and, negative. No. So the defenders, the other team, their strategy, their ability to score, none of those things are actual fact. Like, when someone wins, they won. Celebrate their win. Congratulate them on their accomplishment. Don't hate somebody for their accomplishment. That's just, it doesn't make any sense to me. It's dumb. You wanna watch the game because you know that there's a contest and we gotta see who's got the greatest skill, and we're supposed to appreciate that. Just appreciate that. Anyway, obviously the Chiefs won the game. The Bills played their hearts out. I thought it was, again, like I said during my recap, fantastic game. Okay? But the better team is the team that won. And in this case, it was the Chiefs. And in this case, it was because, yes, Patrick Mahomes, who is definitely already shown some of his greatness, is continuing to try to be great and elevating a team that had a really wishy-washy season, like really, really bad. I mean, listen, for a while there, I was with everybody in terms of, like, find some real receivers. You got cornerbacks and DBs obviously playing receiver because these guys don't have hands. What's happening? They don't even know where to stand during hikes on the offensive side, like the offside penalties and illegal formation. Ridiculous. So I was concerned, but Patrick is doing the thing where he's not scared to put his people in line. And that leadership quality is what is the X factor and what makes guys it. So, again, the right team took control and they won. So, all this, did the Bills lose? I mean, yeah, they lost because the score says they lost. But if you're talking about how they played, no, they played fantastic. If you don't think they played fantastic, I'd love to see you put on pads and go out and do some actual football playing. I don't think y'all ready for that. Anyway, let's keep it moving. First take, I got a question that I wrote here based on their show from, again, Monday. Are the Lions the best story left in the playoffs? Obviously, the Lions have been lovable loser squad for quite a while. And for them to, in the span of 2 years, now be talking about being in the NFC Championship game, like that's quite the step up, big boy status. Best story though, we got the 49ers still playing. That's who they're gonna play against, as a matter of fact, and they haven't been able to get themselves over the hump for years, and they've had all this talent, and now they've got the Mr. Irrelevant quarterback who's carrying them to a place where a lot of people said they would not reach if they didn't go find themselves a true starting quarterback. Now, I think that's a little insulting to Jimmy Garoppolo because I like Jimmy G. I thought he did what he can do, which is he was winning games fantastically. But he also does the other thing that he does, which is get hurt all the goddamn time. So, you got to take that plus with that minus when you do it with Jimmy G. But they got Purdy now, and Purdy was Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick in the draft, and he got them smoking right now. So, I mean, is that not a great story? I think that's a fantastic story. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he wins a chip, if it's like true validation almost, like, because he's not been unknown. Like, he played last season, so coming into this season there was already a little bit of tape, not a lot of tape, but a little bit of tape on him, and I don't feel like, anybody's actually said that they fear or respect or anything Brock Purdy so far. So again, I'm thinking that's quite the story itself. But and then you got the Chiefs. The Chiefs are still in it now, and the Chiefs would be going on to go from having one of their worst seasons to becoming champions again. Like, that's a phenomenal. Talk about earning supreme steps towards that true GOAT status that everybody thinks Mahomes is going to ultimately come out with, which he doesn't have yet. Tom Brady's still the GOAT. Everybody who has tried to jump ship or has tried to like quickly move on because you're part of the now era, Tom's still the GOAT. I don't care what none of you idiots say. So you can just, yell into the wind. Doesn't matter. Anyway, but Patrick Mahomes will take significant steps forward if he carries this team and wins a championship. And it won't just be his first championship. It'll be his third. So I've got to tell you, if Patty can do that, that's an amazing story. It's a great story. Now, as I said before, Patrick Mahomes has clearly proven he's a champion, and we all, if you're watching football and you are any way type of like connoisseur of it, you know that he's likely going to be in more Super Bowls to come. He's at least in another 3 Super Bowls before his career is over. Easy. And him winning one of those 3s is almost a gimme. So, I mean, again, we know he can do these things. We have every expectation he will do these things. So for it to be the best story, I don't know. It's a great story, best story. I think the best story is the last one that I'm about to talk about, and that is the Lamar Jackson story. I mean, listen, came in, they said, you don't know if you should really be a quarterback. He's like, I play quarterback, relax. Then he goes out and balls so amazingly that they're like, MVP, MVP. My man wins the MVP, but then that running style catches up to him a bit. He gets beat up. Now he's got the doubters on him. He has to, show and prove every time he steps on the field, which, oh yeah, he does. He does that. He shows and proves. And then when it comes time for him to get a real contract, they act funny with the money. My man negotiates his own contract, holds out and gets to the bag that he wants and believes he earned, and now he's proving it by carrying his team into the championship weekend of the NFL. Like, he's one step away from the Super Bowl. And if he can win the Super Bowl after having gone through all of that, the supreme validation, supreme validation. My man's playing, the talk is he's already in line for his second MVP this year, which would put him in rarefied air already. But if he gets the chip this year, man, that story is just like super, like, that's a Hollywood, I don't even know if Hollywood story. It's a great movie. It's a great movie. I think that's the best story still running, in my opinion, is the Lamar and Co. story. Because there's a lot of guys who are gonna, get elevated in the media sphere. And obviously, like I said, he gets full validation. I just think that would be, for me, the best story. Let's see what else we had going on. First take. Let's see. Oh, by the way, so Shannon Sharp and I agreed because Dan Orlovsky and Stephen A were on the show on this question, and they were talking Detroit, which again, I don't have any problem with that story. That is an amazing story, but I'm with Shannon Sharp on this one. He's with me. We think that Lamar answering the bell is gonna be the best story still running as long as it goes on, and if it ends with the Super Bowl. So, but just want to get that out there since I did make a note of it. Sometimes, like I said, we agree. Other times, I'll be like, you guys are foolish. That is not a foolish take, like I said, of Stephen A. and Dan Orlovsky. Those were actually, that's a totally respectable answer. Moving on, I got first things first. Let's see. Nope. On that day, I didn't like anything that was going on first things first. They were talking a lot of noise uh, about is Mahomes the best thing ever and is Purdy a liability. Like, and that's honestly, they do that almost every time they talk NFL. Every time that they talk about the Chiefs, every time that they talk about the 49ers, it's literally the same conversation for them. So I really wish they would at least continue to move the conversation forward, because it's kind of getting a little stale, guys. Just a little stale. You do a lot of cool things on the show. I'm a fan, but you get a little stale whenever these two things come up. I mean, some of it is almost not negotiable because Nick Wright is such a freaking Chiefs diehard, Patrick Mahomes everything person. But again, you guys could spice it up a little bit, please. Spice it up. So I'm skipping past that nonsense. Let's see. Speak less confident in the 49ers despite the win. Yeah, this is again one of those. This was an episode of Speak. There was a lot of smoke being blown by Acho. He's definitely a Purdy detractor. Again, he just doesn't respect the work that the kids put in my opinion. Maybe some of it is just him again creating a news story, creating a headline, and being the trying to be the down voice in the group type of thing, or the opposing voice in the group, I should say. Because you don't have a real talk show if everybody just agrees all the time. So I get it that from time to time you want to make sure that there's a opposing view, but if you gotta stretch and just start making yourself sound stupid, I don't like it. I don't know. I don't like it. Everything he was saying about Purdy just sounded like a lot of hate, and I don't think that that's who Acho is as a person, which is why I'm saying that this is all just rating star. So Acho, do better. It's not necessary. That kid ain't did nothing wrong to you. Anyway, moving on. Yesterday we had Louis Riddick is on point, folks. Take the easy out by putting result onus on quarterbacks. Yeah. So this conversation, let's see. How do we appoint greatness? That was a great thing. Get Up, they started having a great conversation, and that question came out of it. How do we appoint greatness? Wins versus talent. Thought this was a fantastic conversation. Wanted to get my 2 cents in on it. So because I do 100%, first and foremost, have debates with people all the time, and I always say that it's essential that we set some kind of a basis, a status, so that we are all talking about the same thing. Like, what are the qualifications? Are we talking, obviously wins gotta matter, because if you don't win, then where are we talking about your greatness? I in sports world, and sports in general, it's winners, and then there's losers. Win is the thing we all want to do, not lose. So wins matter, and I can't separate winning from greatness. If you're out here and you're like, this guy who never won anything, but he's amazing. He's got great talent, but he's not great. I'll say it again. He got great talent. He's not great. Greatness elevates others around them, and that's how it finds success. When we talk about, and you hear people talk about teams and elite players and elite athletes, there's always the nuance that has to be considered. Because unless you're talking about, again, like solo sports, boxing, tennis, you know what I'm saying? Things of that nature where it's really one-on-one. There's always going to be nuance. And I gotta agree, and I gotta respect it. And I do try to be conscious of it when I talk about the different talent that's out there. So, for example, when we talk about the Cowboys and everyone loves Dak Prescott, I laugh in everyone's face every single time. I think it's garbage. He's not it. I'm sorry. I know he got his bag, but that's because he's in Dallas. And in Dallas, Jerry Jones, if he sees any spark of possible good in you, he just keeps throwing bags of money at you and lots of hope. That's just what he's done historically. You know what I'm saying? But I've never respected that man's game like that. Like, he's got to show me something in the real moments. He's a regular season quarterback. Dak, regular season, give that man some work. Playoffs show up though, and he is Mr. Invisible. Mr. Invisible. And when you don't show up in the biggest moments, and your thing is, this is what I do as my profession, then yeah, no, I'm gonna say that you're good at best, but great, not in your attainable range yet. Is it always Dak's fault? Is it all the majority of the loss on Dak? You know, those are things that people debate with me all the time. And I, again, as somebody who tries to watch the games, give respect, understand nuance, I can say that I've seen Dak personally. I've seen Dak himself make the error plays, the blunder plays in critical moments too often. He's part of the failing of a team. And if you are, just hit with, like the guy didn't catch it, the defense was on him tight, the guy misses a field goal and it's windy or inclement weather, or matter of fact, if he missed a field goal and that's the reason you lost the game, you clearly, as the quarterback, can't be blamed. You did everything that you were supposed to. So yeah, no, there's nuance to these things, and I do respect that. If the Cowboys were losing on, again, like missed field goals, then that would be a different story. I wouldn't hate on Dak. But no. Dak literally throws interceptions. Dak does some silly scrambling thing he's not supposed to do. Dak doesn't get a playoff in time. Like, he's responsible. This is happening because, of course, their conversation was about Josh Allen and how everyone wants to dump on him. I 100% have still reservations on whether Josh Allen will be a champion. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like physical talent and skills, he shows pretty much all the time he's got the physical talent and skills. But again, in the real moments, I'm not sure he's proven yet that he can stand firm and be consistent and be calm and be truly in the moment the way you need to in order to have that greatness. So, until Josh shows us that he can have true greatness, he's only in the good category. Now, when you're young, which Josh is still pretty young in my opinion, you got time. And I will give you time. Go right ahead. Good luck. I've said, I think in the last episode, that if they lost this game, I wasn't sure if he would have the same opportunity in the same place. Like, I see him as a starting quarterback, but will it continue to be with the Bills? And is that the right thing for him or the Bills? Sometimes you need to just, mix it up a little bit. Like, if you consistently have greatness and you believe that it's still building, stick with the course. But if you become, plateaued, you've got to do something so that you can get to the next level. And sometimes you do something, and instead of going up a level, you go down a level, like you take the step backwards. But that's part of the learning curve and the growth process. You cannot reach greatness by consistently just being mediocre. You're gonna have to step out and do something great. So again, Josh Allen's got time. He's got opportunity. He's gonna have opportunity, but he hasn't become great yet. And the idea of calling him great is ridiculous in my opinion. Get a new dictionary, please. Get a new dictionary if you're trying to call Josh Allen great, because that word is not the word. Maybe you need you need a dictionary. I almost said it the source, but no, you don't need the word like great. You just need a word that's different from great, something else. Go, like I said, encyclopedia or dictionary. Go pick one of those up, find a new word, because great ain't it. Let me see what else we got. Oh, there's another big thing. I don't like it. I don't want to talk about it, but they talked about it. Do I want to talk about it? I'm not going to talk about it. My thing right now about NFL is I'm trying to talk about the teams that are still playing. I'm trying to talk about the winners. I'll talk about the games and the winners and the losers, but in general, I'm here to talk about the winners and who's still playing. And for some reason, the media people love to talk about the teams that aren't playing anymore. They love we're talking again. Dallas is out, but they're still talking about Dallas. Cut it out. They're not even playing no more. These niggas is in their off season. We haven't gotten to the part where we're supposed to be talking about off season yet because it's still in season. I'm gonna stay focused. I'm not gonna talk about that nonsense. What else we got? Today on Get Up, we had Get Brock. Let's see. Brock get 49ers over. Can Brock get the 49ers over the hump? And that also led to is Brock unfairly criticized? I think you know my answer on both of these things. Yes, I do believe in Brock Purdy, so yes, I do think he can get them over the hump. And yes, I do think Brock Purdy is over criticized. I don't think I should elaborate anymore. You've heard me debate on this for a bit. Again, Brock, keep doing your work, man. Don't worry about these haters. Hate is good because if you're doing something great, then you gotta have haters. So you're doing something good. Keep doing good work. It's amazing to me that people get so much joy out of trying to tear someone down who's doing something good, something positive. It's ridiculous. Anyway, let's see what else we had. On today, first take, how close is Mahomes to being the GOAT? And this is a real conversation because, as I said earlier, people are calling him the GOAT. You're wilding. He ain't there yet. But is he taking magnificent steps towards it? Absolutely. And, I mean, how close is he? At least 2 rings. At least 2 more. He needs 2. Get 2 more so that your total can be 4. And collect another MVP. And be dominating. Like, show up in quite a few more. Both AFC Championship games and Super Bowls. You got to show up in at least a few more. Like, I mean, because look, we're talking about you trying to replace Tom Brady. 10 Super Bowls, bro. He went to 10 Super Bowls. Now, I'm just saying, if you're gonna win less Super Bowls than Tom and be the GOAT over him, you gotta at least go to as many as he did, at least. And then you got to outperform him. Like, your stats and numbers got to end up beating his stats and numbers. But I'm willing to give you you'll be considered the GOAT over him if you just do it with 4. Not even saying you got to get to 6 and 7. Nigga, 4 to 5. Give me 4 to 5 championships. Get to the Super Bowl at least 8 to 10 times. And then have stats that are better than Tom Brady. That's how you become the GOAT. That's it. Because anybody who wants to give you the GOAT status without you actually doing the work that puts you in a position to say you can say you're equivalent or better to the guy who did it before you, they're cheating. That's 100%. Like I said, that's one of those. We are living in the now, and I'm with who's doing it now. That's the best. So that's the best right now. So that's the best ever. Like, that's not how ever works, FYI. But feel free to live in your moment. Get yours while you can. Let's see what else we got here. The very last question that I have here on my docket. It's from today's First Things First episode, and it says, could the Chiefs get blown out? Which was really just a silly question. They didn't really think this was a serious question when they asked it. They didn't. Absolutely not. Because, again, could the Chiefs get blown out? What are we talking about? They're playing the Ravens. and the Ravens are amazing, and the Chiefs have shown that they're not necessarily the Chiefs of old. So could it happen? Well, yes, it's quite possible. Now, do I think it will happen? No, I don't see that happening. They still have Patrick Mahomes, and again, I just talked about how he's on the race to be the GOAT. So when you have anyone who's in the caliber of potentially being a GOAT, well, you can't count that team out. And if you can't count them out, then the idea that they're by default going to be in a blowout and they're like going to be the losers, like they're going to get blown out. Like, no, I don't have that as a high probability at all. I put that at about 5%. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's real low. It's like I said, possible, but it's very low. I don't have that as a high probability factor. Like, and again, a blowout was defined as being beaten by 2 or more touchdowns, 14 or more. Yeah, like I said, I mean, it's Patrick Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're gonna be competitive. I don't know that they're getting the win. I don't think they're getting the win, which I'll talk about that more in the next episode. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that so early. Now though. Listen, I'm not putting money on it. So anybody who's like, put your money where you, I'll just enjoy the game. Thank you very much. Learn how to resist those impulses. I do. I'm not going to do it. Now, I will not be surprised if Patrick Mahomes wins, because it's Patrick Mahomes, but I 100% am wanting and expecting and hoping that Lamar Action Jackson comes through and carries the Ravens to a dub. You know what I'm saying? Again, I really think that that's going to be the best story to continue on, and I hope it comes to fruition. So, yeah, man, that's me right now. Wednesday, the comeback is over. You got my 2 cents, and again, appreciate you for coming through, and I hope this was not too long-winded, which it obviously was. I did not mean to go this long, but again, there's always more to talk about when you're talking sports. Hope we can continue the conversation together. Again, drop comments, man. I promise I'm going to try to keep an eye on them and look out and respond to them, either live during the episode, or if not, I might actually hit the keyboard and type some things back. So drop lines for me, and I promise to definitely, you know what I'm saying, keep an eye out for them. Keep an eye out for me. I appreciate you. Salute. Till the next one.